Okay, let's get into this. Welcome everyone to The Deep Dive. Today we're looking at some really interesting material you sent over. We're diving into this idea of the growth mindset.
Yeah, it's a really powerful concept. Originally coined by psychologist Carol Dweck.
Yeah.
And the stuff we're looking at here, these are excerpts from Dr. Surtaram Vishnoi's Lifelines by Supremedic podcast, episode 100, I think, and also his article, Developing a Growth Mindset for Health. They really apply these ideas directly to your life, especially health.
Exactly. And we've also got a little bit of background on Supremedic, the organization involved. They work in healthcare investment and services, supporting businesses, trying to innovate.
Right, aiming for transformation in healthcare, which is, a big goal.
It is. So our mission today really is to unpack all of this. We want to understand what this growth mindset actually is, why it seems to be so impactful, and maybe most importantly, what are the practical things you can take away from this material to start, building one, particularly for your health?
It really boils down to shifting how you see potential, your own potential.
Okay, so let's jump right in then. Segment 1, what is a growth mindset? Lay it out for us.
Okay, so at its heart, drawing from these sources, it's the fundamental belief that your abilities, things like intelligence, talents, skills, they aren't, carved in stone. They're not fixed.
Not just something you're born with.
Exactly. It's the belief that you could develop these qualities. How? Well, through things like dedication, putting in the effort, perseverance. Basically, your potential isn't some set limit. It's something you actively build.
Okay, so that's the growth mindset. Logically, there must be an opposite, right? The fixed mindset.
Precisely.
Yeah.
That's the contrast. Someone with a fixed mindset, they tend to believe their abilities are just innate, static. I'm either good at math or I'm not.
Or I'm just not a health person, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly like that. Talent is something you either have or you don't. It's not seen as something you cultivate through work.
And the sources really seem to emphasize the difference in how these two mindsets deal with, like challenges and setbacks. That feels critical.
Oh, it's huge. That's the real fork in the road.
Yeah.
Someone operating from a growth mindset, they tend to actually embrace effort. They see a challenge not as a threat, but as a chance to learn something, to get better.
So failure isn't the end of the world.
Not at all. It's feedback. It's data. Okay, that didn't work. What can I learn? How can I adjust? So they tend to be much more resilient. Setbacks don't define them. They just inform their next step.
Whereas the fixed mindset, if you believe your talent is fixed, then failing feels like proof that you just don't have it.
Right. So you might avoid challenges altogether. Why risk failing and confirming that fear? You protect that belief in fixed talent, but you also block off any chance for real growth.
So the growth mindset is fundamentally about believing improvement is possible.
Yeah.
Shifting focus from just innate ability to effort and learning.
That's the core of it. Believing in your capacity to get better.
Okay, which brings us to the next bit. This isn't just a nice self-help idea. There's actual science behind it, right? The material mentions research.
Yes, absolutely. And this is where it gets really compelling, I think. Research shows that your mindset has a significant impact on success, sure, but also on things like mental health, resilience.
And it connects to neuroplasticity.
Exactly. Neuroplasticity, that amazing ability of the brain to actually change itself, to form new connections, new pathways.
Even as adults, we used to think the brain was pretty fixed after a certain age.
Right. But we know better now. And what these sources highlight is that adopting a growth mindset, really believing you can improve, and then acting on it, like tackling hard problems, learning new things, that actually stimulates this neuroplasticity.
Wait, so the act of trying, of believing you can learn, it physically encourages your brain to grow and adapt.
That's the connection they're making. The very behaviors linked to a growth mindset, persistence, seeking out challenges, analyzing mistakes, these things directly engage the brain's learning mechanisms. You're essentially giving your brain a workout that encourages it to build new pathways.
So it's not just thinking positive, it's that the thinking leads to actions which then physically change the brain.
That seems to be the idea. And conversely, if you're stuck in a fixed mindset, avoiding effort, shying away from challenges, you're probably not engaging those neuroplastic processes as much. You might be inadvertently limiting your brain's potential to adapt and learn.
Wow, okay. That really deepens the importance of this. It's not just attitude, it's potentially altering your brain structure over time.
It really underscores how much your perspective matters. Embracing that belief in growth kind of unlocks the door. It encourages the actions that literally help build a more capable, resilient brain.
Okay, so we know what it is, and we see the science makes it pretty compelling. Let's talk benefits. The sources list quite a few powerful outcomes.
They do. And one of the big ones, building on what we just discussed, is increased resilience. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If challenges or opportunities and failures are just feedback.
You bounce back faster. You don't get totally crushed by a setback.
Exactly. You're less likely to give up. Which leads directly to the next benefit, greater motivation.
How so?
Well, if you believe your effort is what leads to improvement, not just some innate gift, you're much more motivated to actually put in that effort. You see the value in persistence. You understand progress isn't always instant. It takes time. It takes work.
And that work, that persistence, presumably leads to improved performance. The sources mention studies showing this across different areas.
Right. Academics, sports, work. If you're willing to practice, learn from errors, put in the hours, you're simply going to get better over time compared to someone who thinks talent is fixed and maybe avoids the hard practice needed to develop skills.
Okay, that makes sense. But the sources also mention better relationships. That one surprised me a little.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? The thinking is, with a growth mindset, you're more open to feedback from others. You don't take criticism quite so personally. You see it as potentially helpful information.
Ah, okay. Less defensiveness.
Probably. And also, you might believe that relationships themselves aren't fixed, that they can grow and improve with effort, communication, understanding, so you invest in them differently.
That makes a lot of sense. And the last big one, especially relevant given the sources, mental well-being.
This is huge. Adopting a growth mindset seems to reduce feelings of helplessness. If you believe you can influence things through effort, you feel more agency, more control.
Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance.
Right. Focusing on the process, on learning, on getting better step by step, that boosts self-esteem. Challenges start to feel less scary and maybe more like, I don't know, manageable puzzles or even exciting chances to grow. Less stress, more positive outlook.
It really sounds like a foundational shift. It changes how you interact with almost everything. Difficulty, success, yourself.
It provides this underpinning of hope, really, and capability. It equips you to face life's ups and downs with more confidence in your ability to, well, learn and adapt and grow through them.
Okay, this is all great, but how? How do you actually cultivate this? If someone's listening and thinking, okay, I lean more fixed, how do I shift?
The material gave some concrete steps, right?
Yes, very practical stuff. A good roadmap. Step 1, they say, is to consciously embrace challenges. Actively seek them out, even.
Don't just shy away from hard things.
All right. See them as chances to stretch yourself, to expand what you're capable of. Maybe it's taking on a tough project at work or learning that skill you've been avoiding because it seems daunting.
Got it. What's next?
Learn from feedback. This is key. Instead of getting defensive or discouraged by constructive criticism, try to see it as as valuable data.
Like fuel for improvement.
Exactly. Ask questions, understand it, figure out what you can take from it to do better next time. Don't take it personally, take it as input. Okay, embrace challenges, learn from feedback. This next one feels really internal. Change your self-talk.
Oh, this is arguably one of the most powerful levers you have. You really need to pay attention to that voice inside your head.
The one that says, I'm terrible at this or I'll never get it.
Yes. When you catch yourself thinking or saying things like that, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, you have to consciously stop and reframe it.
How? What's the reason?
At the word yet, I can't do this yet. Or change it to something like, okay, this is hard. What's the first step I can take to figure it out? Or I can learn how to do this. The sources emphasize this strongly. Your language doesn't just reflect your mindset. It actively shapes it over time.
So be intentional with your internal dialogue. Choose words that imply growth is possible.
Precisely. And related to that is celebrate effort, not just results. This is a big one.
Meaning focus on the work you put in, not just whether you won or lost.
Exactly. It's so easy to get fixated on the outcome. Did I get the A? Did I hit the sales target? But the growth happens in the trying and the practicing, in the dedication. So acknowledge that hard work. Reward yourself for showing up and putting in the effort, regardless of the immediate result. That reinforces the idea that the process is valuable.
That feels especially important for health goals, which we'll get to.
Absolutely. It's crucial there. Okay, a few more steps. Stay curious and open to learning.
Keep exploring.
Yeah. A growth mindset thrives on curiosity. Seek out new ideas, new skills, different perspectives. Read, take a class, talk to people who know things you don't. Find mentors. Learning keeps the growth engine running.
Makes sense. And then there's the elephant in the room. Don't fear failure.
Right. Easier said than done for many people, but it's critical. The material's clear. Failure is basically unavoidable if you're truly challenging yourself. It's part of learning.
So instead of fearing it,
Recognize it for what it is. Feedback, information. Reflect on it. Okay, what went wrong here? What lesson can I take away? Adjust your approach based on that learning and try again. It's not the end. It's just part of the path.
okay. And the last practical step mentioned.
Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Your environment, the people you interact with, they influence you.
So seek out friends, colleagues, mentors who also believe in growth.
Yeah, people who encourage persistence, who offer constructive support, who celebrate effort and learning. Being around that kind of energy can be really motivating and reinforcing.
Okay, those are great general steps. Now let's really zoom in on the health aspect. Dr. Vishnoi's article specifically applied this mindset to health and well-being.
Yes, and it's such a powerful application. He frames your mindset as like the fundamental lens for everything related to your health journey, happiness, healing, the whole process.
So how do those steps translate specifically to health, like reframing mistakes?
Exactly. Let's say you plan to eat healthy all week, but you had a slip up, or you missed a workout. Instead of beating yourself up, ugh, why did I mess up? The growth mindset approach is to ask, okay, what happened there? What can I learn from the situation so maybe I handle it differently next time?
Shifting from self-blame to self-analysis, that's a big shift.
It really is. Another key thing is using that empowering language we talked about, but for health activities. The article gives a great example.
The exercise one.
Yeah. Instead of thinking or saying, ugh, I have to go exercise, reframe it as, I get to move my body. It changes it from a burden to an opportunity, a privilege, makes it feel more like a positive choice.
That simple word change, have to versus get to, feels like it could really shift the feeling around it.
Definitely. And then there's the point about celebrating progress and consistency over perfection. This is so vital for health.
Because trying to be perfect with diet or exercise is, well, usually impossible and leads to giving up.
Exactly. Perfectionism is often the enemy of progress in health. Instead, focus on just showing up consistently. Celebrate that you went for a walk 3 times this week, even if your goal was 5. Acknowledge the small, steady improvements. Remember that quote from the material. The healthiest life isn't built in a day, it's built daily.
Right. It's the daily actions, the consistency, even if it's imperfect.
That's where the real lasting change happens. And related to the surround yourself point, find growth-oriented voices in the health space.
Meaning, choose health professionals or follow people online who focus on effort, learning, self-compassion.
Yes. People who promote continuous improvement rather than, quick fixes, magic pills, or super rigid all-or-nothing approaches. And also, practice gratitude for the journey itself. Be thankful for your body's ability to adapt, for the chance to learn and try new things to improve your health.
Gratitude for the process, not just the end result.
Precisely. And the article even provided some specific affirmations, didn't it, to help rewire that self-talk for health.
Yeah, those were good. Things like I can learn and grow at any age.
And setbacks are setups for comebacks. I like that one.
Also, I'm becoming a healthier version of myself step by step.
And simply, every day is a new chance to improve.
Yeah.
These are great little mental cues to keep handy. Saying them, believing them, really helps solidify that growth mindset around your well-being.
They really capture that spirit of possibility and continuous effort.
Yeah, they make it feel achievable step by step.
Okay, so stepping back just a little. We know this material comes from Dr. Suter Ram Vishnoi, his Lifeline series about health and wellness. And it's connected to Supreme Medic, which is involved in supporting healthcare businesses, strategy, innovation, trying to transform healthcare more broadly.
Right. It's an interesting juxtaposition. You have this very personal mindset tool being discussed in a context that also includes large-scale systemic change in healthcare.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? While Lifelines focuses on your personal health journey, does this growth mindset principle apply to those bigger challenges too, like improving a whole healthcare system?
Well, you'd have to think so, wouldn't you? Tackling something as complex and challenging as healthcare transformation, it seems like it would absolutely require a growth mindset on a collective level.
How so?
You'd need to embrace immense challenges, right? You'd certainly need to learn from setbacks and, frankly, failures along the way. You'd need to believe that sustained effort, innovation, and collaboration can actually lead to better solutions, even when it seems overwhelming.
So the same core ideas. Believe improvement is possible. Embrace the challenge, learn from mistakes, persist. Just apply it on a much bigger scale.
Exactly. It highlights how foundational this mindset is. Whether you're trying to improve your own habits or trying to improve a complex system, that underlying belief in the possibility of growth through effort seems essential.
It's like a prerequisite for any kind of meaningful, positive change, personal or systemic.
It really feels that way. Believing that things can get better is often the necessary starting point for making them better.
So, wrapping up this deep dive then, the big picture is that developing a growth mindset isn't like flipping a switch.
No, definitely not. It's an ongoing journey. It's about consciously choosing, again and again, to believe in your ability to learn and develop. It's about seeing potential as something you actively cultivate through effort, not just something you're handed.
And the power in that shift, as the material really showed, is pretty immense. It reframes everything. Obstacles become opportunities, failures become feedback. Change itself feels less threatening and more like, well, empowerment.
Yeah, and those quotes you pulled from the sources really drive it home.
That one. Your mindset shapes your journey more than your circumstances. That really puts the power back in your hands, doesn't it?
It does. And the health-focused one. The healthiest life isn't built in a day. It's built daily. With the right mindset, every step becomes part of the progress.
That's the key for health, isn't it? The dailiness, the focus on each step, guided by that belief that you can improve. It's the process.
It encourages you to value those daily actions, trust the consistency, and believe that growth will come, even if it's slow.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening, reflecting on this material, think about those quotes. How is your mindset shaping your journey right now, especially your health journey? And maybe more practically, what's just one small thing, one step from that list we discussed that you could try today, just to lean into that growth potential a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely something worth pondering as you go about your day.
Great stuff. Thanks for diving into these sources with us today.